Hi guys, so we're sitting here today with director of Solaris Commodities, Sweden Steel, uh, and I'm gonna present him our project Cerealia. Um, so basically, I won't, tell you about trading of grains. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, a little bit.
But basically, just to mention that as a project, contrary to other similar initiatives who are promising, for example, to trade all commodities on their platform or all agricultural commodities worldwide, we're going to focus ourselves on a precise, market segment where I spent 20 years as a trader, broker, originator.
Azov Sea, Black Sea.
Yeah, so as of Black Sea suppliers, mainly Russia, Ukraine, and Mediterranean Sea buyers. Okay, so obviously the target would be small and medium-sized companies who are suffering the most, on this market, and basically Sweden.
So we would be a small company,
Well,
medium-sized.
you are one which
We're a big fish in a small pond.
you one which is welcome to our platform.
Okay, good.
So the problem is pretty clear on this market: the archaic and constant struggle-like state of the grain trading for these small and mid-sized traders and farmers, by the way. So this problem is multifaceted. So we're talking about just
Access to financing.
yeah, just one sec. First of all, the main pinch point basically is that international trade is done predominantly in US dollars. And the companies, especially buyers, simply struggle to get US dollars currently. Turkey, almost all emerging market currencies are at record lows currently, And then you got sanctions, Russia, Iran, so people are, suffocating. And people, traders reporting to us, they are afraid to make next USD payment because US financial system can block it, simply at least for verification.
Yeah.
And the next pinch point is basically acute lack of trade finance. Okay, so in the countries like Ukraine, you got trade finance interest rates 23-24%. You see, in international centers like trade centers like Geneva, it's minimum $10 million equity capital, requirement, which is obviously limiting a lot, And second pinch point is commercially inefficient contracts. You know how it takes, how long it takes to get a signed contract from the buyers, and then market is moving at the same time.
Sometimes from the sellers as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. And the letters of credit are too expensive, time-consuming, complicated, and then there is an overall market visibility. Lack of overall market visibility and information about trade opportunities. Okay, so markets are disconnected, totally disconnected. I remember, even if I had my experience, you sell something, you think it's a good price, tomorrow you learn somebody sold better. It's because it's so fragmented.
Well, you can never sell at the top, and
Well, yes.
you can never buy at the bottom.
Yes, but it's exacerbated, I think, because of this disconnection. And so, also, the hedging techniques are not really accessible because for Black Sea guys to hedge on CME with swaps there, mid-sized and small companies cannot permit it simply because of KYC and other, lengthy and costly.
Well, the swaps became futures in December last year, so it's not just over the counter; it's also cleared futures. But there's a disconnect between the cash prices and the futures prices. So
Currently, yeah.
nonetheless, it's a better hedge than it was hedging on Chicago or Kansas or Matif.
Yeah, by the way, normally the traders like you should benefit of such disconnection and probably sell them, especially if you loan goods, you sell the swaps and let the, as you said, let the funds buy it, you know.
It's a good idea. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so then.
Yeah, Pélivier. Oui. Madame Zur, je suis juste en meeting. Je vous rappelle dans 1 heure, s'il vous plaît. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
Okay, so the solution to this problem is blockchain. We strongly believe that this time blockchain definitely will revolutionize grain trading, and in the next few years, smart contracts, tokens, payments, and trade finance in cryptos will become standards of our industry. And so, our project Cerealia is a peer-to-peer grain trading, financing, and tokenizing marketplace. What we propose.
Can you just explain what tokenizing means?
Tokenizing
to
means,
a layman like me.
Yeah. So we're gonna propose to the owners of grains the tokenization service. That means that we will have an algorithm on our platform which will attribute to this holder of grains the exact number of tokens depending on the quality, quantity of the goods, current prices, and distance from the main delivery points. Okay, so then he's got representation of his goods by token, which can trade on our platform, you know, which he can easily post as a collateral. Okay, so that's what.
So that way you can then have farmers tokenizing their goods ex works by calculating the amount that it would cost him to bring the goods to the port, and the fobbing cost, and so he has a fair idea as to where the fob price is, so what his goods should be worth in his farm 1,000 kilometers from the port.
Absolutely, of course it will be cheaper than in the port or closer to the port, etc.
Okay.
But I think it's a good proposition for all holders, all owners, because this token will represent the ownership of the goods. Okay, and all types of investors can be interested. You know, for example, you know, in crypto world there are crypto whales who hold billions of dollars of cryptos. Okay, and these guys might be interested, you know, to buy these tokens, paying in cryptos to farmers, and then resell them on our platform against fiat, which is normal currency, and by doing this to get out from cryptos, you see, because it's not easy now to get out from cryptos. It's one way of, but there are other ideas.
Okay, there could be some liquidity with Bitcoin longs. Okay,
and then obviously, you know, with such tokenization, there could be also a price discovery for some products which are not listed. For example, you take, I don't know, sunseeds piece, you know, by tokenizing and by establishing the trade of these tokens, you know, the price reference, you know, then people can trade at premium to these tokens. You see?
Sure. Yeah.
So, okay, basically, the one of the first aims is to get out of dollar slavery, you know. We will propose to trade in cryptos, but cryptos are volatile. So what are the solutions? The solutions, we are thinking to utilize such platforms like Stellar, for example. So Stellar is a big blockchain on itself, okay, big distributed database, okay, which permits, which basically is composed of a lot of anchors, as they say, which are which by the way are banks, exchange offices and other payment providers. So all this network permits to people to to pay. For example, a Turkish buyer would pay in Turkish liras, and the Russian seller will get in rubles. And the exchange rates are very, very attractive on this platform.
They're competitive to banks' rates?
They are competitive, yes, because I've spoken to some developers and they say it really works because the owners of the company are coming from Ripple. Ripple is a much bigger payment on the blockchain service for banks, okay? And so it would be one of the solutions. Another solution, we're still thinking what to do, because we want traders not to have to deal with crypto volatility. They already deal with goods volatility, eventually ruble volatility. So another way would be for example, a Turkish buyer pays us, our platform, in Turkish liras, and we issue our internal platform tokens, which are pegged to the dollar. Okay, we issue to him these tokens. By these tokens, he pays the Russian seller. Okay, Russian seller gets these tokens, brings them to us, and in exchange we give him rubles. Okay.
So you're like acting as an escrow account between the Turkish buyer and the Russian seller.
Yeah.
You're holding it, and you have a trusted platform that needs to be secure.
Yeah.
Receiving Turkish lira, and then you're paying out in rubles at an agreed rate, which is fixed by xe.com or some other Monex.
Yeah. Yeah. But I prefer the Stellar type of services, attached to.
I don't know about Stellar. Stellar for me is beer. I don't know.
Right. You can read about it. So another thing is trade finance in cryptos. For me, basically, trade finance it might come in whatever currency it is. The important, it must be converted into local currency. And cryptos are basically is untapped source of trade finance. Nobody did it yet, And there are, as we just said, these whales, And I think, if we propose to them hundreds of traders, ready to pay 7-8% net per annum for trade finance with a secured collateral as grains, I think they might be interested.
Could be. Yeah, could be.
So we're discussing with some blockchain banks, and we will do so with crypto exchanges as well to attract this flow of cryptos. Okay. So then, smart contracts, of course, is the backbone of the blockchain. Okay. So
based on Gafta terms.
Yeah, absolutely. The smart contracts gonna be worded as per Gafta. They're gonna be signed numerically, digitally, which is recognized in all countries. So, and then the smart contract gonna self-execute. For example, there should be a trigger. The trigger is, for example, the seller charters the vessel and sends us on our platform vessel nomination, which triggers smart contracts, which requires buyer to send within, let's say, 2 days documentary instructions. Then smart contracts requires seller to send drafts, and you see this
so you could
chain of events.
You could have, for example, buyer seller on the platform with the tick boxes in the middle, and if all of the various boxes are ticked, so quantity is agreed, tolerance is agreed, price is agreed, delivery period for FOB is agreed, or shipment period for CNF is agreed. And once all of those are ticked, then the deal is done.
Right.
And all the other terms are as per 49 Gafta or as per 48 Gafta.
Yeah. So it's basically also like an LC working, But what you can say also, so the payment is effected automatically as soon as all digital documents are presented on our platform. So that triggers triggers the payment. In the future, at the beginning, when we are going to do a minimum value product, okay, which is called MVP, you know, it's a first product we're gonna do. We will require seller to sell all the digital docs, okay. But later and very soon, we will connect all parties like inspection companies, like port agents, veterinary service, customs, through devices to blockchain, and they're gonna send directly these digital documents. Okay.
So, have you spoken to SDocs about that?
Stocks is they are doing BLs, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Smart
I know them.
BLs.
There is Bolero also.
Yeah.
You know why these BLs are now widely accepted? These digital original BLs, because they are confirmed by the majority of P&I clubs.
Yeah.
And that's what you need, because if the ship owner is fine, then everybody is fine, you know.
The biggest stumbling block, as I understand it, to the electronic documents is the phytosanitary certificate, because it's more complicated. You've got to have both the origin country and the destination country agreeing to the format of the electronic phytosanitary certificate.
Right.
But
We'll see. We'll try to deal with it. So yeah, basically, you know, blockchain and smart contracts render transactions fast, efficient, traceable, and irreversible, by the way. So nobody will say, I didn't do this contract. Look at it, it is here, you know.
Yeah.
So which will limit disputes.
They might say that your system was hacked.
You know, basically, it cannot be hacked.
I'm being a devil's advocate. I mean,
Yeah, but on the blockchain, you got, in order to hack, you need to hack thousands of computers composing the network. Okay.
Russians have very good hackers, apparently.
Well, yeah, but we will have Russians in our team. We already have, so we're gonna be
we've got the
immunize
good
it.
We've got the good guys on the side, so they will
Exactly.
keep the bad guys out. Okay.
Absolutely. No, we will take care of security. So tokens we discuss, it's hedging. So we want hedging to be accessible, you know, to these guys, to small and mid-sized players. And what I think would be accessible is swaps, is this you know, different product swaps as per Platts and other assessors like AgriSensus. Okay, and so on our platform, the swap will be also in the form of smart contract. Okay, it's as simple as this. So the guys will be able to trade cash, to hedge themselves on the same dashboard, you know.
So it's going to be much cheaper for all market participants, both buyers and sellers, to trade swaps or futures on this platform, because you don't have a broker charging 50 cents or 25 cents, a clearing broker charging another extra.
Absolutely. So obviously Cerealia is, you know, going to disrupt and to a certain degree replace some brokers. But Cerealia positioning itself as a, you know, new type of efficient broker, providing not only fixing prices, you know, in the contract, as I call it. I was a broker myself, but also trade finance, tokenization, all backed by blockchain technologies. Also, to a certain degree, Cerealia is going to disrupt multinationals and banks, you know.
Sure.
But that's, you know, that's life. That's life. And so what else? Just one second. What else I can tell you? Yeah, this is a concrete use case of smart contract. And we already more or less discussed it. Okay.
Yeah.
So there will be several of them, and on our platform. All, of course, is per Gafta.
Of course.
We're sitting with the next president of Gafta, so it's important. So the team is being set up.
Are you working with Natalia?
Yeah, Natalia is a advisor.
Skuratovic.
Yeah. Natalia Skuratovic is an advisor. And basically, what are our next steps? We are now in discussion with several developers. We are finishing the discussion, and we are beginning to build an MVP, which is called minimum value product, okay, which will permit to make a physical transactions between buyers and sellers. Payment, we will see if we will be able already to do it in cryptos like Stellar type, or maybe at the beginning it will be even fiat, but we will try to do it on blockchain.
Okay. Minimum value product.
Minimum value product, which basically we would expect we will push for it to be ready in September. It takes time.
And if you do that, you will be also an MVP, most valuable player.
Right. Well, thanks for that. What to say? Then what can I say more about it? So then, yeah, I mean, at the beginning, as we said, we focus on this market segment, but we are ambitious, and the Cerealia is going to expand naturally because, geographically, like Russia and Ukraine, they are selling to more than 120 countries.
Mm-hmm.
And products-wise, because a lot of traders trade a part of grains, oils, seeds, oils, etc.
But you'll concentrate on wheat and corn, I guess.
At the beginning, we're going to concentrate on wheat, corn, and barley.
And barley, yeah. Okay.
But then...
Yeah.
So, any questions, guys?
Black Sea is
over there.
Black Sea is global, so I think it's a good place to start.
Yeah, it's a quarter of Black Sea exports. This season, it's a quarter of international grain trade.
Yeah.
So it's
just from Russia, you got 50 million tons of grains.
Absolutely.
So
it's a focus, but it's not a small focus.
No.
Anyway,
Good.
guys. So
thank you for coming in.
Thanks a lot.